Alrighty, guys, welcome to my NBA free pick video part 2 for Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. And if you want to see which one of these free plays on these videos that I'm actually betting on personally, games that I personally have my own action on, you may want to think about signing up for my chairman package on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Not only do chairman members get access to my chairman podcast every single day, you also get access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. The math works out to be just $3.33 a day. Most handicappers are going to charge you like a couple $100 just for like a day or two of service. So $3.33 a day for a lot of different personal plays and a couple podcasts. Pretty good value there. I currently have over 540 members. We're signed up and active on my site right now. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Timberwolves at the Nets, 7:30 p.m. East. Minnesota's -1.5, totals 226 and a hook. Now, Minnesota's on a 3-game skid, and they do have a losing record on the road. The T-Wolves are also one of the worst rebounding teams in the West. They're grabbing fewer offensive boards a night than most clubs in the conference. And no real shock here, guys. Minnesota is also in the bottom 10 in defensive boards a game as well. They're facing a Brooklyn squad who won their last 3 straight, and they continue to shoot the basketball well. The Nets are making nearly 50% of their shots from the field. They're also in the top 3 in shooting the three-pointer at home. Mikal Bridges, he's drilling 41% of his shots from beyond the arc with Brooklyn. He also averages 27 points a game. Meanwhile, Spencer Dinwiddie scoring 16 points a night himself with the Nets. And when it comes to the injury report, Brooklyn is, they're completely healthy. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, Towns, Rivers, and Noel are questionable. Naz Reid, he is still out. And when it comes to the total, Minnesota's gone a staggering 12-2 to the over against Eastern Conference opponents on the road. They also saw overs in 5 out of their last 9. Now, Brooklyn, on the other side of things, they saw overs recently against the likes of Houston, Miami, and Cleveland. Give me the Nets +1.5 over 226 and a hook. Next game, Hawks, Bulls, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Chicago's -4, totals 234. Now, Chicago did cover the number in 7 out of their last 10, and they're one of the better field goal shooting teams in the game. These guys have the 3rd highest offensive field goal percentage in the NBA right now. Nikola Vucevic, he makes 52% of his attempts from the field. He also grabs 11 rebounds a game. Meanwhile, Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan are both scoring over 24 points per contest, respectively. They're facing a Hawks team who failed to cover in their last 4 straight. They have all kinds of problems on defense. The Hawks allow nearly 120 points a game in their travels. Now, their opponents are also making just about 50% of their field goals against them away from home as well. When it comes to the injury report, Trae Young's banged up right now. Good chance he won't suit up. Keep an eye on his status if you're looking to fire on this game. DeAndre Hunter, he's also been ruled out for Atlanta as well. When it comes to the number in this one, 5 out of Chicago's last 6 did get over the total. Meanwhile, Atlanta's 23-16 to the over in their road games. Give me Chicago -4 over 234. Next matchup, Celtics, Sixers, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Philadelphia's -2, totals 227. Now, the Sixers won 28 games at the Wells Fargo Center this year, and they are the most efficient three-point shooting team in the game right now. Tyrese Maxey makes nearly 44% of his long balls. He also averages 20 points a game. Meanwhile, Joel Embiid's the league leader in points per contest. He also grabs double-digit rebounds a night. Now, they're facing a Boston team on the other side who does not rebound all that well on the defensive end of the court. Boston actually grabs fewer defensive boards on the road than most clubs in the East. When it comes to offensive production, these guys really do tend to throttle down late in ball games. The Celtics are in the bottom 10 in the NBA in fourth quarter scoring. Now, injury-wise, Horford and Brown are questionable. Robert Williams is out. When it comes to the total, the Celtics have averaged only 108 points a game in their last 10 meetings with Philly. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. The Celtics are also 24-16 to the under in their road trips. Now the Sixers on the other side, they saw 7 out of their last 10 ball games stay under the total themselves. Give me Philly -2, under 227. Next game, it is going to be Nuggets, Rockets, 8 o'clock East. Denver's -9, totals 230. And even though the Nuggets are favored here, they're definitely banged up at the moment. Jokic, Murray, and Nagy are questionable to suit up. The Nuggets also have a losing record on the road, and they're also one of the worst teams in the league at guarding the field goal away from home. Now they're taking on a terrible Houston team on the other side of things, who actually has been good against the number. They covered recently against Brooklyn, Memphis, and New Orleans. Make no mistake, this isn't a great team, but they have found ways to get the job done against the point spread. And believe it or not, guys, the Rockets still do have a winning record against the point spread while hosting Western Conference teams. Jalen Green scores a team-high 22 points a game. Meanwhile, Alpi Sengun, he's draining 55% of his attempts from the field. Now, injury-wise, the Rockets are mostly healthy except for Jae'Sean Tate. Meanwhile, for the Nuggets, Jokic, Murray, and Nagy are questionable for them. When it comes to the total, Houston saw unders against the likes of Cleveland, Golden State, and the Pelicans. Meanwhile, Denver went 9-1 to the under in their last 10. Give me Houston +9, under 230. Next game, it is going to be Blazers, Grizzlies, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Memphis is -17.5, totals 228 and a hook. These numbers absolutely ridiculous at the tail end of the season here. Certainly the NBA not putting forward a really good product right now. But anyway, the Grizzlies got the W in 8 out of their last 10. They've been nearly perfect at home. Memphis is 34-6 in their own arena. They currently lead the NBA in guarding the field goal. Ja Morant has a handful of steals on the year and also grabs 5 defensive boards a night. Now, he's currently the team's leading points getter. Meanwhile, Desmond Bane's drilling 41% of his shots from beyond the arc. Now, they're taking on a Portland team who lost 8 out of their last 10. And they have a tough time guarding the three-pointer themselves. These guys actually have a higher defensive three-point percentage than any other team in the league except for one. When it comes to the injury report, Nurkic, Grant, Simons, Little, Johnson, and Baji, they are all out. Butler, Watford, Reddish, Thibault, and Knox are questionable as well. I'm not even going to recognize anybody on the floor here tonight. And, of course, Portland did shut down Lillard and Winslow for the year as well. Certainly feel bad for these Portland fans as the organization has committed to failure. Now, for Memphis on the other side, Dylan Brooks is questionable. Zaire Williams is still inactive. When it comes to the total, Memphis saw unders against the likes of the Clippers, Magic, and Hawks. Meanwhile, Portland 65% to the under against Western Conference opponents at home. Of course, I'm not saying that Portland shouldn't shut it down. They should. But because of their bad play this year, the Portland fans really suffer. They saw bad play with their studs, and now they're going to see even worse play with people they don't recognize. Give me Memphis -17.5, under 228 and a hook. Next ball game, Kings, Pelicans, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. New Orleans is -4, totals 237.5. And as good as the Pels have been here recently, they do have some problem areas late in games. They're allowing more third-quarter points than most clubs in the West. When it comes to offensive production, these guys are one of the lowest fourth-quarter scoring teams in the entire NBA. They're facing a Sacramento team who's full-on pedal to the metal for 48 minutes. These guys average a league-high 121 points per contest. Of course, Domantas Sabonis, he's making 61% of his field goals. He currently leads the NBA in rebounds. Meanwhile, De'Aaron Fox, he's scoring a team-high 25 points per game. And speaking of shooting the basketball, the Kings have a higher offensive field goal percentage than any other franchise in the NBA except for Denver. When it comes to the totals, surprisingly, Sacramento's 23-15 to the under in their road trips. Meanwhile, the Pelicans are 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Give me Sacramento +4, under 237.5. Next game, Lakers Jazz, 9 o'clock East. LA's -9, totals 236. Now, the Lakers got the W in 6 out of their last 7. And they're also in the top 5 in road scoring. Anthony Davis scores over 26.5 points a game, along with a dozen boards. Meanwhile, D'Angelo Russell's drilling 40% of his three-pointers. Now, they're facing a Utah team who lost 6 out of their last 7. And they have a handful of guys on the injury report. Rudy Gay and Jordan Clarkson are inactive. Meanwhile, Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton are questionable. When it comes to defensive play, the Jazz are giving up 118 points a night. Now, injury-wise for the Lakers, Mo Bamba's still out. LeBron's a little banged up as well. When it comes to the total in this one, 5 out of the Lakers' last 6 did get over the total. LA's currently 23-16 to the over on the road. Meanwhile, Utah's 8-2 to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Lakers -9, over 236. Next matchup, it is going to be Thunder Warriors, 10 o'clock East. Golden State's -8, totals 244. Now, the Warriors got the W in 5 out of their last 7. And they're playing some really good basketball in the Chase Center. Golden State's 32-8 in their own arena. And they're arguably the toughest team to shoot against in their own building. Steph Curry has a handful of steals on the year and averages nearly 6 defensive boards. Now, Curry's also averaging a team-high 29.5 points a game. Meanwhile, Klay Thompson scores 21 points a night, and he's also drilling 40% of his long balls. Now, they're facing a Thunder team who's got their fair share of problems on defense. These guys are actually dead last in the entire NBA in defensive rebounding. When it comes to covering the point spread, OKC failed to cover in their last 7 straight. Now, total-wise, OKC saw overs recently against the likes of Phoenix, Charlotte, and the Clippers. They also allowed 121 points a game in their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Golden State. So once again, if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Give me the Warriors -8, over 244. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It's going to be in the Spurs-Suns game, 10 o'clock Eastern start time. Phoenix is -18, totals 236. Now, the Suns are fully healthy, and they're on a 5-game winning streak. They're also one of the toughest teams to score against in the Western Conference. Kevin Durant has a handful of blocks with the Suns. He also grabs 6 defensive boards a game. Now, Devin Booker's grabbing 4.5 boards per contest himself. He currently leads the team in points. Now, they're facing a Spurs team who allows a league-worst 125 points a game on the road. And no real shock here, guys. Their opponents are making nearly 42% of their three-pointers against them on the road as well. Now, injury-wise, Collins and Langford are questionable. Sochan, Vassell, Johnson, and Birch are out. When it comes to the total, 4 out of San Antonio's last 5 did get over. They're also 22-16 in the over in their travels. Give me the Suns -18, over 236.